All right, so very quickly, let's talk about the pelvic floor. I'm not going to ask you in the comments to share, but if you feel like it, who has leaking issues? This was something that I had. I had issues with leaking when I laughed, sneezed, coughed. Even if I just yelled like really loudly, I could leak. Or if I'm lifting something heavy, jumping on the trampoline, those are issues that I was really struggling with. I had a really bad vaginal, like internal vaginal tear. So I literally had atrophy on the inside on one side of my wall. So I had to do a lot of work to really get that back. But it's definitely possible. The exercises can really make a difference, but you have to understand a few things before you just go hit up some Kegels. Kegels aren't for everybody at every time. It depends on what your situation is. And so that's one thing I see all over is like, do Kegels if you have leaking. Sometimes that's not your issue. Your issue could be that you're too tight. So let's talk about that for a second. Also, I want to explain the connection between your abs and your pelvic floor, because if you have a loose, weak mommy tummy, it's connected to your pelvic floor. It's connected to your pelvic floor, and that could indicate there's some looseness there, and that's something that you're going to want to remedy. So tightening up the pelvic floor and the core together, the abs together, really makes a more holistic approach. And that's why in my paid program, we address both at the same time. So what you see like on my free exercises and all that, a lot of times I'm not directly addressing the pelvic floor because that could be a little bit more in depth. But in my pay program, we go over that. Now, let me prove to you what I just said. I want you to feel this for yourself, because a lot of people are like, what, huh? You know, your abdominal muscles are connected to your pelvic floor. Yes, they are. And so if you have a loose mommy tummy, you might not be able to get that full contraction of your pelvic floor like you need to. Okay, let me prove that to you. I'm going to prove that to you in two different ways. We're going to do two little exercises before I need to wrap this up. Okay, so I want you to give me we're going to do this in two ways. The first way is I want you to give me a full Kegel. And let me explain a full Kegel, because a lot of times when people think of Kegel, they think of squeeze, 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 okay? That's not a full Kegel, all right? A Kegel is this. I want you to imagine this. This is what I tell my ladies in my paid program. So this is information I'm giving you that I tell all my ladies in my paid program. I want you to pretend as though you are using your lady parts to grab a marble. And I want you to pretend as though you're picking it up and drawing it up into your body, okay? Now, when you do that, do you feel tightening of your abs? I want you to pay attention to your abs, because I want you now to fully drop it down and let it go and feel yourself open up as you let it go, okay? That's a full Kegel. A full Kegel is grabbing that marble, drawing it up, bringing it back down, and then fully releasing it, relaxing it, okay? Now this time, I want you to do it one more time, but this time I want you to pay attention to what your abdominal muscles are doing, your lower abs especially. Now ready? Grab that marble, draw it up, relax it back down, and now release it fully. Did you feel your abs work? Did you feel that? If you felt your abs work, I want you to say yes in the comments, whether you're here on TikTok, here on Facebook, or if you're on YouTube right now. Yes, Tracy Ray says yes, she felt that. Okay, anybody else feel your lower abs tighten as you did that? Yes, Sasha said yes. Okay, everybody's saying yes now. Ange Mom, Pamela Rice, Melissa, Anais, I see yes. Rosemary. Okay, so we're feeling that. You see what I'm saying? Okay, now I want, yes, Robin Gregory. I see you over here on Facebook. Yes, Catherine, yes. Okay, so maybe Facebook, it's a little slower, the connection or something. Corinne, yes. Okay, so we're getting some yeses, yeses, yeses. Okay, now let's do a different exercise. Just to, if that didn't work for some people, I want you, oh, thank you so much. I got a little heart on TikTok. That's so cool. I've never seen that before. Okay. I want you to do something different. Oh, thank you, Sasha Style. I appreciate the roses. Thank you so much. And all the hearts. Thank you. And the thumbs up and stuff that's going over here on Facebook. Okay, I want you to try something else now. Now I want you to do it from the abs. And we're going to target the transverse abdominis now, okay? That is, again, the deepest core muscle. Remember, you have 4 layers of abdominal muscles. The deepest one is your transverse abdominis, wraps around the waist, cinches you in this way, okay? Rectus abdominis is here. When you flex that muscle, that's the push-up muscle. Not push-up. That's a sit-up muscle that helps you flex, okay? So doing that helps you flex. Great. We all need to flex. We all need to sit up in bed. That's what gives you the 6-pack. That's why people love to do exercises like that. But the transverse abdominis wraps around, and when you tighten that muscle, it cinches you in this way. It's just what the muscle does. It wraps around, it supports your back. And right now I'm going to prove to you how the transverse abdominis also is connected. It kind of like co-contracts with the pelvic floor. All right. So very quickly, we're talking about how a loose mommy tummy can affect the pelvic floor. So I want you to do this exercise, and we're going to try to really target the transverse abdominis. This is an exercise that you can do anywhere at any time. You can be brushing your teeth, you can be sitting in the car, you can be sitting at the dinner table, you can be folding laundry, you can be doing whatever you're doing, and you can do this exercise. I want you to sit up nice and tall, as though somebody has a string and it's pulling you up, pulling your spine up nice and tall. Now I want you to pretend as though you are, well, I have so many different analogies for this. Let me do the one that's the most popular. Pretend as though you're putting on a tight pair of jeans. Now you're zipping it up without trying to get anything caught in the zipper. Okay, let's try it again. So sit up nice and tall, like a string is coming up through your spine, pulling your spine up. And I want you to pretend as though you're putting on a tight pair of jeans, high-waisted jeans, and you're trying to zip it up without getting anything caught in the zipper. Now I want you to pull that in even tighter, okay? Now I want you to think about your pelvic floor as you release that tension in your stomach. Release it now. What did your pelvic do? Did your pelvic floor also release? If so, say yes in the comments. You don't always think about that your pelvic